Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about dynamic UnPivot in SQL Server. In last two videos, I have talked about dynamic SQL as well as pivot and UnPivot. Even last video, we have seen the limitation of the UnPivot operator in SQL Server. So how to overcome that limitation, we are going to see in today's video. Let's go to the SQL Server Management Studio. There we can understand the demo. So for timing, I have prepared a script for today's demo purpose. Let's try to understand one by one. So here I'm using table students in this demo. It contains ID, student name, maths, English, history, science. These are the columns, and I have some sample data for this demo purpose. Let's try to execute one by one. Execute it. So command completed successfully. It means that a table has been created successfully. Now let's try to execute data. Sorry. Let's try to execute it. Two rows affected. Now I'm gonna fire a select statement. TBL students. Executed. Now we can see, right? So two rows, student name, maths, English, history, science, and for the student, second student also we got. But so what we have to do, what are the columns? We can see that maths, English, history, science, we are going to convert these columns into rows, because in dynamically in tomorrow, if two more columns added in this table also, how to do that without changing any code, how to write a dynamic SQL, we are going to see in today's video. Let's start writing code. So for I am declaring two variables for this query purpose. One is column list, because I want to store all the columns for the subject related columns, whereas second variable holding the dynamic SQL. Let's start. Declare column list varchar 1000 varchar 1000. Declare another variable SQL string and varchar max. Now I am defining varchar max. Okay, now I want to fetch the column list. Select column list equal to column list plus code name. So what are the columns? For fetching the column names, we need to take the query from select star from sys.columns, where object id equal to object id of. So what is the object id for this object? Like dbo dot tbl students, tbl stu students. Let's try to execute and we'll see. So for this object id, these are the columns: id, student name, maths, English, history, science. So I want to see these columns into the rows, so I'm trying to do by filtering where column id and column id not in 1, 2. So what I'm doing here, except these columns, I'm trying to store these column values into this variable. Okay, let's try to do that. So what I'm doing here is name. I'm taking name on, instead of taking all the columns, try to take the name and try to execute it. Now you can see only 4 columns. In tomorrow, if we add another 2 columns like physics or chemistry, whatever it is, we'll find it here itself. Automatically it will come. Okay, so that part we'll try to see later. For timing, name from Okay, just I want to see the comma separator here. Okay, now select column list. We'll try to see whether it is coming fine or not. Now you can see, right, maths, English, even I'll paste it here, maths, English, history, science, but there is one comma separator, comma. How to remove that? So for that we need to use the left function. Select column list, left column list, length of column list -1. Okay, now we'll try to verify whether it's working fine or not. Execute it. See, now we can see the difference. There is no comma here. Here we can see the comma at the end, but we are removing by using the left expression. Okay, so one part is done. Now we'll try to set the SQL string for the dynamic SQL. Select star from TBL students UnPivot marks, because we want to, what are the values coming for the subjects, we need to represent as a column name as marks for subject in. Now we need to pass this variable as UnPivot table. So what are the columns we are getting from the column list? I am passing here column list, right? And finally I'm trying to print, because debugging in dynamic SQL, it's very important by using print option. Execute execute sp underscore execute SQL string. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I have declared two variables. One is column list, another one is SQL string. In the column list, I'm trying to fetch all the columns except ID and name by specifying from the sys.columns, where object ID is equal to table students, where column ID not an, except these two columns. I am trying to fetch all the columns into these variables. Okay, after that I'm trying to remove the comma separator by using the left expression. And finally for the SQL string, I'm trying to concatenate the dynamic SQL. Now let's try to understand whether it's working fine or not. Execute it. Marks, I think I have given subject name. Let's try to understand. Okay, for UnPivot we need to give this comma. Let's try to execute it. Yeah, it's fine working. Let's try to understand whether it's working on. See, these two rows already we have explained, and these are the column list of columns: maths, English, history, physics. So here I'm removing the comma separator. Now if you see here, so I want to see the subject as a after the student name. I'll try to change that. ID, student name, subject, marks. Okay, now let's try to execute one more time. I will try to understand. whether it's working fine or not. Now you can see, right? So id, student id, name, and the subject marks, student, second student id, name, subject marks. It's coming fine, right? So it's coming right. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'll try to add one more columns and we'll try to do some experiment. Alter table tbl students add physics int. Okay, I'm trying to add one more column to the table students. Okay, command complete successfully. I'll try to insert one more record. Insert Pavani and 85. Try to execute it. One row affected. We'll try to see. So this time I have inserted one more column with the new record Pavani. So the value is 85. So this time we'll see whether this effect reflecting immediately or not. We'll try to understand. Try to execute all at once so that we'll get more understanding. Now we can see that 3 rows. Here we can see immediately physics, one more column has been added. Here we are removing the comma separator. Now if you see here, automatically without specifying Pavani at subject list, it's coming automatically because we are representing in a dynamic scale. So it's coming automatically, dynamic way. Math, physics, English, science, right? It's coming. Even you can give another column also. For example, I'll try to insert one more. Suresh 60. Okay, now I'll try to execute it. See, Suresh. Okay, it's coming in a dynamic nature, right? It's working as we expected. So, and moreover, I want to highlight one thing here is I am printing this. What are the query we are writing in dynamic case? I'm printing this one also because debugging dynamic SQL is very important. Sometimes it's required. So even if I try to execute both, it gives the unique output only. There's no difference at all. There's no difference, right? So this way we can achieve the dynamic UnPivot by using the dynamic SQL. So that's all for today's video. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions or queries, so please try to send me an email or drop your comments in the comment section so that I'll try to reply as soon as possible. So stay tuned for other videos. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.